Okay, Dan.
Ready.
Day 3.
Day 3, we're here.
Spark
ready
Media.
To do it. Let's
Yep.
go.
Yep. And we have a great guest with us today who has been a speaker here at Spark Media Conference. And welcome.
Thank you.
How has your experience been so far here at Spark Media?
I loved it. It has been such a gift to have the spiritual component
Yeah.
as well as the podcast component. So it's just right up my lane. So I loved just the holistic approach to meeting people and learning more about this industry and just really being encouraged by so many different speakers.
Yeah,
Good.
that's great. I know it's been a lot of people have said how much they've loved the people and the community
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been great. And Misty's done a great job with empowering and encouraging with the spiritual side of things here. That's been really cool to watch and see, along with really great content.
Yeah.
You know, when you talked, when you were the speaker here and you had your talk, what was it that you really tried to hit home with?
So one of the things that I see as, I'm a podcast coach for many different podcasters and a lot who are just starting. And so something that I see is imposter syndrome come up in different areas and definitely at the beginning. And so I really hit on how do we break through the imposter syndrome.
Wow, it's great.
Yeah. There's a lot of people asking, like, who am I to start a podcast and who am I to continue a podcast? And it's...
Well, and you have is there kind of two sides of that too, where some people, they have the imposter syndrome maybe because they really haven't had the experience that they maybe think they should at that point. And then there's others where they do have a lot of experience, but they still feel like that there's other people ahead of them, and there's why would they listen to me when there's other people that they could listen to as well? What would you say to that?
Yeah, there's definitely one area of people who don't have the experience for sure. And you know, my main point was, yes, who are you? There's an absolute reason why that's in your heart. Whether you're shy, introverted, or outgoing and love to be behind the mic, there's absolutely a reason that God has put that person or placed that little seed inside. So yes, in that area. And then with somebody who has had a lot of experience, when we start looking around and we're comparing and not really sitting comfortably in who we are, then we can definitely get into that. Who am I to be in this room with a bunch of podcasters who may be better on the charts or...
It's a real dangerous comparison game. I think there's always there's an audience for you and for you that they're waiting for you to speak into their life, that they're like, you think, well, they should be listening to Joe Blow over there, but they're like, no, I like your voice, identify with it for some reason. Maybe there's something about your story or just the way you deliver it or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, I think the word of the conference has been authentic, you know, being your authentic self, and how do we arrive at your authentic self. And that is so much easier said than done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's something when a mic gets in front of you or the camera starts rolling and all of that, that you feel the sense of need to perform. And it's, you know, really praying against that performance spirit and just taking a deep breath and really understanding that, you know, one person needs to hear what you have to say. And I think when we look at it from the perspective of just you're talking to one person, not trying to hit millions of people, because then you would have to be somewhat tempered, so to speak, in that, instead of going, that one person loves exactly how you say it, the way what you do, what you say, everything. Talk like you're talking to your best friend. That pulls out your most authentic, real self in doing that. So I love that you have a heart for helping podcasters achieve that, because I think it's their ultimate goal.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
I think they all want to. So to have somebody like you to coach them is just such a treat.
It really is. It is such a gift to watch people get more and more comfortable. And that's part of my story. Was I was a producer for 4 years, and the host of the show was like, "Come here, Kristin. We want to hear from you." And I'd be like, "I don't want to be here at all."
I relate to that.
Yes. So, I mean, I had somebody in my life that really spoke into that of like, we want to hear what's going on. Like we always see your wheels turning, and we want to know what's going on. And it definitely was a long season of like, me?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a celebrity. You are.
Right. Right.
But the couple that was the host of the show were that they just kept pulling and pulling and pulling until finally they were like, go do your own podcast.
Yeah.
And so I want to do that for other
That's
people.
so good.
How did you make that transition from being pulled in front of the microphone at that point to now helping other people?
It was a very slow transition. So I like I said, it was really just getting more and more comfortable behind the mic, and they ended up creating a segment of their show called Moms on the Mic, and it was his wife and I that we would just chat back and forth. And then again, I created this podcast in 2020 called Holistic Hearts, and just started sharing what I had written in a blog.
Yeah.
And so, that just started propelling things forward. And then people were like, "Hey, could you help me start a podcast?" And,
good.
So then that just kept rolling and rolling, and more people kept asking for help. And then created my second show, which is Holistic Podcasting, podcast coaching for Christian female entrepreneurs. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it just keeps
That's a good
the next
flow
step,
from
next
that.
step, next step.
Yeah, I love that. That is so great. So how could the listeners find you, get in touch with you, all the good stuff about what you're doing?
Yeah. So you can listen to either of those two podcasts, Holistic Hearts, Holistic Podcasting. You can find me on Instagram. It's one of my favorites. So at Kristin Fields Chadwick, or go to my website, KristinFieldsChadwick.com.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's so great. Well, it's been amazing to have you here. I know everybody was blessed after your talk and everything. So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you.
being
having
with
me.
us. And it's been great.
Blessings on your all you put your hand to.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You too. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect.